Hey, what's up everyone? It is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I am of course back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 64 DS for the Nintendo DS, which is pretty obvious. So last time we have managed to able to actually get things started in terms of the basement floor, and also we did manage to able to gather every single Power Stars in Hazy Maze Cave, and also some occasional Power Stars in the forms of, well, obviously the castle's secret Power Stars, and also we did manage to able to collect, I believe, we actually collected about 3 Power Stars so far in Lethal Lava Land. And today, for this episode, is the fact that we're most able to actually just to wrap things up everything in terms of Lethal Lava Land, and eventually we'll hit on to the forms of the next few missions during the course of the next few worlds. So either way though, let's hit on to the forms of the 4th mission, which is Red Heart Log Rolling. So I do apologize for the actual some bit delayed speech there, just because, well, I'm getting, you know, a little bit better than the forms of how it does it on the forms of the past few weeks or so, but we are getting there though. So either way though, let's just go ahead and, you can either do this mission within 2 different methods. Like, for one, you can either just manage to, or technically 3, because of the forms of that specific, although, is there a, I don't think there isn't any, yellow estimation block around here. So, yeah, you can either do this normally by utilizing the actual log to roll through, or my personal favorite method is by, you know, just obtaining the actual feather, so that way you can able to obtain, well, the wing cap power-up with Mario, and you can able to skip the entire portion. So, Mission 5, hot-footed into the volcano. Again, I do apologize for that specific gibberish about this. So because of that though, yeah, the actual block is now shown up. So speaking of such though, I think I'm also able to do the 100 coin Power Star mission on this particular level itself as well. So hopefully we would be able to actually accomplish that, because I'm actually going to be taking over the outside portion of the actual the coins themselves. You know, specifically right now, and then there's going to be some of those coins in the inside portion of the volcano, so we're able to actually just to do that until for later. Ah, dang it, I somehow managed to get screwed over, so, oh well, no big deal, but at least we are able to actually just to get, you know, some health back, thanks to those coins that I've managed to collect. So, yeah, anyway. A few things I want to explain about this for this point today is the fact that obviously today's day is of course the 12th of March today, in this case in 2021, and it looks like about the fact of the matter is though, is the fact that I'm pretty sure that Tiana has already mentioned about this ever since in Pokemon Snap Let's Play so far, and the fact of the matter is though is that until next Thursday, or to be more specifically, more than likely 5 days or something like that in Japan, that basically is the fact that the Universal Studios of Japan is now getting itself the actual the Open Grand Day during the forms of well, the 18th of March. So yeah, no wonder why it's been delayed twice, by the way. Clearly it's because it's pretty obvious, it's that stupid little you know what I mean. But let's not mention about that right now, just because even though this is a new year, so let's forget about the forms of that previous year that we've went to. So either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So yeah, anyway, so and I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well, that obviously I believe Tiana has also mentioned about this before already, that obviously we did manage to able to actually order something for ourselves for this point today, or just recently throughout the week. Originally, that, well, we weren't going to be able to try to get ourselves Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, for the Switch. Specifically, the physical version, because, you know, as you guys should know, I've always been a big fan with physical stuff, not so much digital stuff only. Although, to be fair, that you can potentially try to able to get some digital stuff, which I honestly don't mind to include, but it usually takes up a lot of space if you manage to able to actually buy something digitally. So because of that though, yeah, we were originally trying to able to get Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time on the Switch physical version, but for whatever reason, it's the fact that the Amazon website page never seemed to list it itself. Although, it was supposed to come out during the forms of today, actually. Because either way, though, speaking of Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time for the Nintendo Switch. Not only for the Switch, but also Xbox Series X specific version, and even especially noticeable with the PlayStation 5 version, has recently came out today. So because of that, though, let me know in the comments below if, what you think about which one is the best version of the, well, Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time recently. Although, some of these fans were really hoping they were able to fix the long, drawn-out loading times, as well as the, you know, the actual crate hitbox thing during the forms of, well, bears repeating level, which, you know, with the fact that we have to go through the forms of the polar bear section with Crash, and one problem complaint that most people seem to complain about, and that was the forms of the hit detection with the actual box breaking. So because of that, though, I'm hoping that'll be fixed. Well, it already did, from what I've seen, the Switch version gameplay. So, at least I'm expecting to be hyped, at least despite the fact that I still haven't got the physical copy of the game yet. So, yeah, it's kind of a shame, honestly, but anyway, let's move on to Mission 6, Inside the Volcano. So once again, we are going back into the actual volcano itself, but except rather than just going into the exact same way as before, but now we need to go in a different route. So, hopefully, we should be able to actually just do just as that, so... Yeah, anyway though, and here's my favorite method, is by, you know, just getting burned and then just trying to able to hop onto a platform and stuff like that. I think I actually did done this already in the forms of, I'm not exactly sure if we were able to actually did done this, ever since the original Super Mario 64 Let's Play, because it has been quite a long time since I actually did manage to able to look back on the forms of our you know, the redo Let's Play of Super Mario 64 on the original N64, obviously. Although, then again though, we're not exactly sure if we're about to be doing the Super Mario 3D All-Stars Let's Play, but let me know in the comments if you will decide to let me do it. But either way though, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Alright, so here we go on to the 7th mission and the last mission in Lethal Lava Land, and that is Flaming Silver Stars. And this meaning that, yes, we have to grab all 5 of those silver stars. And the easiest way to do this is by, well, just have a little bit of a ride on that specific Koopa shell. And if you manage to obtain that, then you can able to actually get those silver stars no problem. So like this very first one over there that I just managed to grab. And there's also another one over there. And also another one on those little curved sections. So yeah, you can get a lot of extra lives in this place, especially noticeable that if you manage to able to get the Koopa shell on you, then basically you can able to get yourselves a whole bunch of extra lives. Although technically you still get a whole bunch of extra lives thanks to the forms of, you know, the coins amount for 50 to 100 and stuff like that, you know, similar thing from Super Mario Sunshine, and even especially noticeable with Super Mario Galaxy 1 for, you know, the star bits count. And heck, even with the forms of 100 star bits count on Super Mario Galaxy 2. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up from there. And I think that pretty much wraps it up in terms of Lethal Lava Land. And now let's move on to the next world, which appears to be Shifting Sand Land. And the first mission we have here is in the Thailands of the Big Bird. Or to be more specifically, we need to able to nap the star from the likes of the Klopdo the bird. So, yeah, something's worth knowing for. And, whenever we get onto the forms of the 100 coin Power Star mission on this particular world, it can be a bit time consuming, but we'll hopefully try to able to actually do this successfully. Although, mind you, originally this was going to be my first attempt for this recording session, but I somehow got screwed over by the forms of the amount of coins I have not collected. Which, we'll point it out whenever we get into the later missions throughout the majority of Shifting Sand Land's world. So, yeah, basically this mission's not too bad. So because of that though, you just have to like, touch the forms of Klopdo's claws, and that's all you have to do. And we managed to only got 1 coin so far. Literally just a penny coin. Mission 2, Shining Atop the Pyramid. And basically we need to make our way to the top of the pyramid itself. So, you can do this like multiple methods. Like you can either just use the Koopa Shell, like we already did from the likes of Lethal Lava Land, or my personal favorite is by, you know, just use Wing Mario in order to able to fly straight to it, like so. And there we go. I can see why the most speedrunners managed to able to actually do this specific technique. So, speaking of speedrunners, actually, I'm not exactly sure if they're able to utilize the, clipping through. Actually, I'll get to more on that later. So, Mission 3, Inside the Ancient Pyramid. And because we're going to be gonna go through two different sections of this world, I'm also going to be taking on the forms of the 100 coin Power Star mission. So, hopefully, without even giving me that much trouble with or anything else like that. So, yeah, that Becky seems the case. I have no idea why I'm speaking so kind of awkwardly at this point, but either way, though, regardless of anything else, though, that we're pretty sure enough that we almost at the forms of the halfway point of March already, despite the fact that the forms of the Super Mario Bros. 35th anniversary stuff will be have its limited run, which is, it might be a bit of a sad story when it comes to the forms of this month so far. In fact, let me know in the comments below of how the fact that, have you still got Super Mario 3D All-Stars before it starts to go away? And also, have you still got yourself, well, let's just say Game & Watch Super Mario Bros. Edition, because we surely still have. And also, same applies to the forms of, well, if you manage to still able to actually have yourself Super Mario Bros. 35 yet, despite the fact that the service will be, well, no longer going to be continuing by that point. And also the amount of, you know, softwares as far as Super Mario Bros. 35 will be gone forever. And have you still managed to go yourselves the Fire Emblem game that was usually be the celebration for, I'm presuming it's like the 30th anniversary or something? Even though I haven't really looked upon that much of Fire Emblem these days, just because, well, then again though, because of the controversial for that specific Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter since, you know, a year ago now. So because of that though, yeah, that pretty much sums it up from there. Speaking of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, actually, I, almost pretty much done with the game so far, most notably with the forms of the actual spirits. Like, I think I've got about 55 of them left, most notably with, some of them can be, only be active by summon, and also leveling up to able to actually get themselves an enhanceable version of themselves, and, also just trying to able to complete certain tasks. Well, I've still managed to complete all the challenges so far, so usually, relatively speaking, I've already 100% that. So, because that's actually quite easily the easiest challenges I've ever experienced in Super Smash Bros. History. Although, I will still say this right now, the hardest one of the bunch though is for the Wii U, just because, my god, several challenges on Super Smash Bros. For Wii U is actually a lot hellish to complete. At least in my opinion. If only because of the forms of Smash Tour, and also same applies to the forms of the difficulty spike, especially noticeable in the challenge of the classic mode in Smash for Wii U is actually one of the worst in the series. Although I will say that the Ultimate one is actually a lot better though, just because, well, first of all, it goes by very quickly, and second of all is the fact that depending on what fighters you're going to be using, they have their own unique challenge mode, or the classic mode, I should say. So, at least it doesn't overstay the welcome, thankfully. So, but it still does have the intensity kind of way, but thankfully it's nowhere near as frustrating as the forms of how it does it on Smash for Wii U. I don't know, I didn't like it. I don't like the actual, the main emphasis on classic mode in Smash for Wii U, although it's literally not fun to me. Honestly, I don't care about the forms of the actual thing itself anymore. I mean, the only thing that's cool about the forms of Smash for Wii U is the fact that you weren't able to actually have a well, it's kind of hard to say about this, but usually the only thing is good about the game is that over the forms of Ultimate is the fact that you do have some very cool detailed trophies, which obviously Ultimate ditches the forms of the trophy system, but it's been replaced by, you know, spirits, which can be like subbed up as like, you know, search or Google images search and just slap it onto the forms of well, it might be a little bit too much of a nitpicking aside, but other than the fact that it's actually a cool idea, but I digress. But it's just the fact that the challenges achievements in Smash for Wii U is actually a lot difficult, like way harder than the forms of how it does on Brawl, and especially noticeable for the 3DS, which I still haven't gone back into it yet, if only because of how the fact that I still haven't completed 9.0 Intensity Classic Mode. Mind you, I'm going to be using Ganondorf for the likes of that specific difficulty just once, and that's pretty much about it. Whilst compared to the forms of, for the Wii U, I have to do as multiple replays, and that's just too much when it comes to difficulty spike. It's almost very similar to finding those godforsaken blue coins from Super Mario Sunshine, and heck, even some of these Shine Sprites in general, that usually can be like pretty hellish at times. But at least on Mario Sunshine, I can at least manage to able to accept the challenge. While some people might disagree with me for this, well, usually the most infamously of them all though is of course the Watermelon Festival mission. So either way though, that pretty much sums it up for the sake of time. Again, I may be biased, but I digress. Alright, so now we got ourselves the 100 coin Power Star mission on Shifting Sand Land. So, as long as you will be careful not to, like, getting sucked up by the forms of the quicksand, you should be okay. But now we just need to get ourselves the main Power Star, such as this one here. But obviously we're not going to stop there, however, though, because we need to do the next mission, which does need to require something else entirely, which we'll point it out whenever we're able to, you know, go back right into the forms of Shifting Sand Land. And, yeah. Mission 4, stand tall on the 4 pillars. So, you know exactly what this mission is about. Basically, we need to be able to actually stand on 4 of those taller pillars, and then if you've done that already, then you would be able to activate something, you know, quite familiar, especially noticeable with that top of that little, you know, pivot point on that pyramid right from the top. Then you know exactly what's gonna happen. So, yeah. Anyway, another thing I just want to point out as well, that I'm pretty sure that Tiana has already mentioned about this already. That obviously we've actually got ourselves some quite new items, which there are. The rest of the Spyro games on the PlayStation 1, specifically the entire trilogy of Spyro the Dragon series, and because obviously I'm going to be taking on the forms of the entire Spyro series on my own time, and overall I just had a really good soft spot when it comes to Spyro the Dragon series. And I'm really looking forward to able to actually get into the rest of the series. Well, at least to be more specifically, the original series. Well, mind you, I don't count the forms of the rebooted version because I am not a big fan of the reboot series. Just like the forms of the Crash Bandicoot rebooted series, which I still kind of find it to be a little bit of a controversial and stuff like that. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and fight against with the next boss right here, which appears to be those 2 little hands. Who walk here? Who break seal? Wake ancient ones. Who, me? We know like light. Rumble. We know like intruders. Now, battle, hand to hand. So yeah, you know, we get the idea with this boss fight. Basically, we need to punch these 2 eyeballs right here, depending on what hands you're gonna be punching. So, they usually have like 3 hits each, so that makes a grand total of 6 hits to able to actually just deal with this fight. Which, by the way, his boss's name is iRock, so because of that though, if you're following through our Let's Play of Mario Kart DS back in 2017, I believe that Piglet and Rarity did manage able to did that game since, oh, jeez Louise, that amount of damage right there. I somehow get crushed twice. But hopefully though, the last phase is gonna be not that hard, because obviously we need to just be very careful not to get shoved off, and especially noticeable if you get shoved, then you have to start the entire process again, so... Grumble! What happened? We crush like pebble. You're so strong, you roll ancient pyramid. For today, now, take Star of Power, we sleep darkness. So yeah, and that was actually kind of a close call actually, because I almost attempted to die on this fight, mainly because if I somehow got burned by that specific flame, that as you saw that I managed to completely ignore the whole entire time, that way I somehow might as well get screwed over, so thankfully that's not gonna happen, so... Mission 5, Toxbox Switch Star. But here's the thing though, it actually requires someone in order to able to accomplish that mission. So instead of doing that, I'm actually going to be doing the exact same method as in the forms of the original Super Mario 64, while going through, of course, the 8 red coin mission. So, and by doing so is the fact that we need to collect the first 4 of those red coins by... you know, using Wing Mario in order to able to actually fly for certain spots, and for whatever reason my triple jump does not even work with me half the time recently. But thankfully we did manage to like get that covered. So yeah, with those items I did, obviously we did manage to order for the past few days, for specifically this week, which is obviously the Spyro, the rest of the Spyro games trilogy on the PlayStation 1, and also there's another new game series I'm actually very curious to try out, which appears to be, have you heard of the game called Ape Escape? Sorry for a little bit of a tongue twisting here, folks. But yeah, Ape Escape, basically this game involves around, you take control of the character that utilizes some different amount of weapons, and basically you would be able to actually just, oh wow, I somehow managed to become safe there. So anyway, that game utilizes kind of similar to the forms of this game, Super Mario 64, although except the fact that rather than collecting stars, we're actually going to be capturing those monkeys, or apes, to be more specifically. And because of that though, that's we need to stop the evil threat, and basically then you would able to do capturing monkeys multiple times, and I think you get the idea what the actual the gameplay stuff I was going to talk about. Although mind you, they only spawned in with 3 games on the main series, even though, mind you, they will become later on as in spin-offs or party games to be exact. But I'm more talking about the main series to be more specifically, you know, with the one where you have to take control of, you know, the human character to able to actually just well, mind you, I've only just managed to order both the original on the PlayStation 1, and especially noticeable with this very lazy remake on the PlayStation Portable, which appears to be known as Ape Escape P, also known as Ape Escape on the Loose, so something's worth noting for the sake of the forms of some name differences in particular. So because the reason why I managed able to got both the original game and the PSP remake is because I definitely heard of it though, but I do definitely know that the sequels, both the second game and the third game, was actually on the PlayStation 2. But as for the second game though, if I was going to be planning to get that, I will try to able to get it once I finish the first game first, along with the PSP remake. And as for the third one on the other hand though, oh boy, it's going to get pretty expensive in my country, that is. So, yeah, because usually what I've noticed is that the second game doesn't cost that much, though, luckily, but the third game does become incredibly expensive, which I have no idea why. It becomes, like, pretty pricey these days. Although, mind you, because of how the fact that most people seem to have a lot of fond memories with Ape Escape, the original game, which, to be more specifically, the reviews on that original game is actually, like, very highly positive and stuff like that. Well, usually unlike the remake though, it does have some positives and some mixed receptions, mainly due to the lack with the right analog stick to able to control the camera and stuff like that. So anyway, the mission, as you can see, that I've managed to get done is surprisingly the 7th mission when it's placed in like that. That mission is actually called Free Flying for 8 red coins. So, just want to let you guys know what that mission is about. So, anyway though, so let's say that takes care of some of these missions in Shifting Sandlands. Mind you, that we will come back into that level at some point once we are able to actually access to every single character in the game. So for now, let's head on to the next world, which is Dire Dire Docks. And the first mission we have is Board Bowser's Sub. And of course, since we can't able to actually go into the the next Bowser level just yet, because obviously we do need to require to complete the very first mission in Dire Dire Docks first, before we get into the forms of the Bowser level, which I believe it was actually Bowser in the Fire Sea. So, yeah, you get the idea of how this goes. So because of that, though, I do apologize if there's any background noise you're going to be hearing throughout the majority of today. This is clearly obvious because some of these birds have actually decided to sing. And the only reason being for that is because spring is actually approaching. So, yeah, I'm actually quite excited with the forms of certain spring elements to the table. So, yeah, anyway. And then also another thing as well, that I can assure to you that I think that Tiana has been completely, or actually me, actually, that I somehow forgot to mention, for those of you able to notice something as a recap of, in regards to the forms of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, certain episodes, 10th anniversary of something, obviously recently, since about a week ago, that the showstoppers, which actually involves around the Cutie Mark Crusaders, most notably with Scootaloo, Sweetie Belle, and Apple Bloom, managed to able to try their best to able to achieve the cutie marks and all that stuff though, but they managed to perform some sort of like a talent show. You know that particular episode, right? That episode has been out for about 10 years old now for the likes of North America. And recently, a dog and a pony show also get its 10th anniversary treatment as well. So, at least that's something, alright? Despite the fact I haven't really watched that episode that much though, just because, well, I feel incredibly bad for Rarity's, well, cryness when it comes to the forms of able to notice that the Diamond Dogs managed to call her, like, a mule, which represents ugliness or something? Even though it has been donkey's years since I actually know about that episode, but either way though. And at some point or another, until likely next Thursday, that I'm pursuing that Tiana will able to mention about that Green Isn't Your Color episode is also getting a 10th anniversary treatment as well. And same applies to the forms of Over a Barrel, which, gonna think about it, back in the day, in 2011, that episode came out exactly the same day as when the UK release of the Nintendo 3DS has actually launched, so yeah, that's kind of weird, but awesome at the same time, despite the fact that most people found this to be kind of a mixed bag episode. So, and also a bird on a hoof, and the best episode ever, which is the Cutie Mark Chronicles, which is not gonna be 10 years old until at some point in April, which also same applies to the forms of the Owls Well That Ends Well, and A Party of One, and of course the Best Night Ever. So because of that though, yeah, looks like the majority of the Season 1 episodes is actually going to be becoming a decade old now. Although sure enough though, that later on throughout the year, in 2021, that eventually Season 2 episodes will also get its 10th anniversary treatment as well, like Return of Harmony, and also Lesson 0, and Lumina Eclipse, and also the Cutie Parks, and May the Best Pet Win, The Mysterious May Do Well, which is probably one of the weakest episodes in Season 2, at least for some bronies seem to agree, and also, actually I don't know actually, because I know it has been like quite a long time since I actually did mention about this specific stuff though, just because, well, as you can tell on screen, I seem to concentrate right now, so... Alright, so... Oh boy, this is getting very treacherous at this point. Especially when this happens right there, but... at least we'll... Son of a biscuit! Anyway, at least we grabbed that red coin at least, so, Anyway, so let's go ahead and, try to grab onto this pole and make sure not to fall into the lava just in case we don't get hit. And especially noticeable, do not activate the switch star just yet though. And grab the 1-up just in case if we do have some bit of do or die situations. But thankfully, I somehow managed to survive that. Thanks to that little wall jumps and all that stuff though, so that should be surprising stuff. And yeah, for what I've noticed, whenever I managed to able to look up on the... Oh wow, I somehow almost barely got touched by that, you know, the 1-up mushroom whenever I somehow obtain the Power Star itself. Okay, that's all cool, fine and dandy and everything. Alright, now let's go ahead and get the Switch Stars. So hopefully, we won't be able to... Ah, that's a bad idea! That is seriously a bad idea! What?! Ah, damn it! I was so close to able to get that Switch Star! Ah, I blame on you, flamethrowers and stuff like that, you little contraption buggers and stuff, but I digress. Sorry for a little bit of a swear word right there, just because, well... And that was a really stupid thing to do. But at least regardless of such though, is that you can basically do this forever if you keep on failing several jumps because of that extra life. At least thankfully we don't need to grab these all these red coins again, so we just need to try to aim for the Switch Star and then we'll be good to go, and then trying to face off against with Bowser for the second time. It feels like we're going to be playing Mario for the majority of the Bowser levels, because I'm sure to you that, although it is possible you can able to actually play these Bowser levels, as in with either Yoshi or Luigi, or even Wario for that matter, when we get into later on. But, except for this last variation of the Bowser level, which is Bowser in the Sky, because it actually requires Mario in order to able to finish the game, so, oh wow, that is a very, very lucky dodge right there. Wow, I'm kind of felt impressed about that for myself. Alright, let's go ahead and try this again, and hopefully we're not going to mess things up. Even though, whenever I'm trying to say that, well... Oh, can I be safe? Oh, thank God I'm safe. Alright, let's just go and get that Power Star and get my health back. So, at least I accomplished that. Whew-wee, that is surely something else. But anyway, although thankfully though, just like the forms of how it does in the forms of the original Super Mario 64, along with the forms of getting a Shine Sprite in Super Mario Sunshine, if you grab something that's usually valuable, you get your health back. And especially noticeable in Super Mario Sunshine as well, from the likes of those Power Moons and all that stuff. Alright then Bowser, let's see what you're gonna do this time. Obviously, you're gonna have to do some sort of like a massive jump stomp right there from the start, and as soon as that little platform tilts, and the actual battle is pretty much exactly the same, so you still need to toss Bowser right into those little spiked bombs and all that stuff to deal the only one hit on him. So, alright, so let's see if we can able to angle this just right. And I think this might be good to go there. Well, let's just see. Oh, that usually takes a hit. So, how's that for that? But of course he's not done yet, because he'll meet us into the final frontier, which is in the forms of the top of the tower, which meaning that we will come across into him at some point. So, but we might be a bit of a busy work going on here, just because obviously we need to still obtain the most insane amount of Power Stars, even though, mind you, I think we're actually on the halfway point in Super Mario 64 DS, in regards of the forms of how much stars we got. So, yeah, 75 stars, and looks like we got about the halfway point of it left. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased about that. So, anyway, I think similar to say, we'll go ahead and end things off at this point right here. Well, as soon as we get into the forms of the first floor. So, yeah, join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario 64 DS. Is that we're now going to be exploring onto the second floor in Princess Peach's castle, and hopefully we'll also save Wario at some point. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Later, fellas.